Hey everybody, David with Bliss Bites, and today we are going to make some pesto to go with some pasta. Now, to start with, I have some oil that I've made. To make this oil, what I did is I toasted off or decarboxylized a few grams of weed. Then I simmered them in oil in this jar, so it was the jar set in oil with the weed in it for a while. And then with that, the weed's been in there for about 2-3 weeks now. I'm just going to discard this cannabis, maybe set it aside to make sure I get a few last drops. But all of the goodness is really out of that weed and into what's going to become our pesto. Now, here I've got a pan, it's been heating up. I'll put a little oil in there and toast some pine nuts, which God willing I can do very quickly without burning. If you don't get pine nuts, use any nuts you have. Walnuts are a classic like substitute. But whatever you're looking to use, go ahead and use it. There we go. So now just a nice, good sized handful of the nuts. Toast a little bit. Now I'm realizing I don't have a spatula, so I'm going to grab my spatula or something to stir with here. Trusty short little spoon. There we go. This is happening very, very quickly. I already see some color getting on these. If you watch Iron Chef, they tend to burn the pine nuts always, and God willing, I'm not going to do that. There we go. Do you guys like Iron Chef? I used to watch that all the time when I was younger. Really, some of that's what taught me to cook. Where did you guys learn to cook? Like, was it watching Iron Chef Morimoto and Bobby Flay? There we go. A little color on those. So I want to put them into our cannabis oil. Boom. There. I'm just going to set that there. A little bit of color, a little bit of oil. Now, part of this will need some garlic as well. If you like raw garlic, you feel free to use more. If you don't like raw garlic, feel free to use less or omit it entirely. That's up to you. I'm going to use 2 cloves here with my roughly 2/3 of a cup or half a cup of oil. As you can tell, I didn't really measure it. And we'll start by just peeling the garlic while it's going. And to go with the pesto, of course, I've got pasta going, and that's it just boiling over behind me. So I've taken the lid off and going through. There we go. Turn the heat down, and you can hear it bubbling away. There we go. And quickly finish dicing that up. I can smell the garlic. I smell the pine nuts most of all that I've set into that oil. And when I was doing it, what smelled just awesome. I've actually got Parmesan Romano cheese for once. The real good stuff. If you don't want to pay for that or just don't have the availability, Pecorino is also a great option. But whatever cheese you can get, you could use mozzarella even in a pinch. So again, this should come together very, very easily and very quickly. And then what we have here is a big handful of fresh basil. And try to get your knife as sharp as possible for this. I sharpened mine, but it is an old knife. I'm not a chef, and I can already feel it's probably not sharp enough to really do the straight, nice, clean cuts that I'd really want it to leave this as whole and not bruised as possible is what they really want you to do. That smells delicious though. I wish you guys could smell this. There we go. So into our oil. We've got our cannabis oil. We have got our toasted pine nuts. And a big old handful of cheese. I'm going to stir that up. There we go. And wishing I'd broken up those nuts a little bit more, so I'm going to try and break the nuts up a little bit here. And as I'm looking at this, I'm already thinking it probably needs a little bit of pepper, maybe a pinch, just a little bit of salt in there. Let's grab my pepper mill from behind me. If you can, use the fresh pepper like this, you'll get more flavor out of it. There it is, and a pinch of salt. Use less salt in this because you've got salt in the cheese, you'll have salt in the pasta water here if you end up using any. Definitely wants a little pinch of salt. Now, I really should have chopped the nuts up a little bit more, but overall, if you're looking for a quick, easy way to get high, that could top some dinner. I'm going to put it on some noodles here in a minute, and we'll try it out and see how it tastes. Alright, so the pasta has been boiling. I'm going to strain it off and let's see how this comes together. Go. Strain. Always try to strain it right at the end, a little bit into the pot you were using. Because if you need to thin out the sauce a little bit, it never hurts to have that a little bit of that pasta water saved. There we go. And into that, of course, we will need our pesto. And my little spoon, of course I've lost. Cleaning up for you here on the break. And here we go. The pan's not even turned on right now. I just want, I'm going to use residual heat from the pesto or the power of the pasta to heat up the pesto. Get all the oil out of there. Lord knows you don't want to waste that wheat oil. Side, stir, stir, stir. And so the garlic's coming through, the basil's coming through. You can see the cheese softening up. And man, I'm sorry you're not here to taste this, but I can't resist. Grab me a fork. Noodles are al dente. Might use a third clove of garlic if I did that again. But man, I'm happy. That's delicious. Thank you for watching, everybody. That's Dave with Bliss Bites on how to make wheat infused pesto.